So if you've gone through support and you've gone through stability, you've traveled through the first and the second level of the principle of grounding. There's one more to go, centered. Centered really completes it. When you are centered, not only are you able to quickly find the support from the ground or any equipment that you're dealing with, not only are you able to stay with that support, but you're now also able to start with a lot of stability on your own, needing less and less and less from the ground because you're just trying to get out of it what you need in the moment for that particular movement, no more, no less. And that brings us back to the 100, because that's really, in order to endure in the 100, you have to really just get what you need from the ground and be able to deal with the rest of it yourself. Through the process of all of the upper spine curls and so on, you will have built a lot of the interior strength in your stabilizers that you need to accomplish that, to really be centered. And then you can relax, actually, and just focus on really tightening the form that you need for the 100, the nice open form, the nice strong but flexible form. So I'm going to go with the 100 first, demonstrating that, and then I'll add in 3 final preps for grounding and show you how they apply to this exercise. So the first thing that I'm going to do is find the support of the mat. I'm going to do so very relaxed, focusing on my exhale, allowing my body weight to concentrate towards center. And then as I start to feel the support more, I'm going to really utilize it to build my form, bringing my legs together old school, touching as much as possible from arches through inner thighs, feet forward, toes downward. I already have my center somewhat engaged, but I'm going to now begin to focus on my inhale, because it's through inhalation that you tend to lose your stable contact with your support. So this is where I'm focusing on stability beyond support. Being able to maintain a nice stable spine, whether I'm inhaling or exhaling. And now I feel good and stable, so I'm going to focus on feeling centered, like everything important is going on right here. Holding me together. Now, I really do feel that. I'm going to go for it. Inhaling to rise into an upper spine curl with my arms elevated and my heels just about an inch or 2 off the ground. I then begin with my first exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. 7, 2, 3, 4, 5. 9, 2, 3, 4, 5. 11, 2, 3, 4, 5. 13, 2, 3, 4, 5. 14, 2, 3, 15, 2, 3, 4, 5. 17, 2, 3, 4, 5. 19, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's 100. So, finally, there's lots of different preps that we could use for this. But I want to touch on some side-lying stuff that really helps to challenge your center to maintain and hold, and also to strengthen. So we'll begin with the spine twist. Spine twist begins this way. You keep your legs stretched out in front of you, nice and long, but more so from the back, not from the front. If you try to really focus too much on the front, what I notice most people do is they tend to lock up and hyperextend the knees, which pulls your pelvis forward, which puts a lot of pressure in your low back and creates this form. a lot of tension tightness here. It's quite unsustainable for most folks. So we correct that by softening those knees, dropping the heels and sitting bones, and picking up the spine rather than pushing it down like so. Dropping the shoulder blades and collarbones. Lots of support, nice and stable. And then I'm going to inhale, raise my arms. And then I'm going to exhale, and as I exhale, I'm going to keep my arms outstretched, wide apart from one another, and twist, using my obliques, and then inhale, maintaining my center, I exhale, go in the other direction. Really opening my chest, stretching my collarbones wide. Really focusing on this, on the obliques, the connection from the side of the pelvis to the side of the rib cage, rather than working real hard on the abdominals, rather than working real hard on my low back. Actually taking all of what I want to do there and here and put it into those obliques instead, put it into looking for the ground instead, and really focusing on maintaining my center, twisting over my center that way, twisting over my center that way, keeping my center nice and stable, using my legs. That really helps so that when you are in this position, you have plenty of support from the outside so that you don't have to just focus on the abdominals and the low back, which stops you from breathing. So here's another form that we can use to tighten up those connections and really connect down the outside of the leg as well. And that's going to be in the sideline double leg raises. So when you rest on your mat, start with your knees folded like so, and your fingertips interlaced behind your neck and head. To prevent pushing forward, you want to be more on the neck than on your head. And you want to straighten out. Once you straighten out, you want to make contact with those obliques. And once you make contact with those obliques, you want to start to tighten them by exhaling, drawing them inward, and then inhaling, stretching them upwards and downwards. And then once you have a sense of that, then you use the ground to line yourself up. So I'm going to actively and passively ground myself in order to gain the most out of my support. So as I inhale, I'm going to press the whole side of my body into the mat. As I exhale, I'm going to press my whole side of my body into the mat. And that's going to cause my body to shift around a little bit and put me in center. At that point, I'm able to straighten out the legs. I'm going to do it again. Pressing, pressing. And that's about right. So now as I inhale, I'm going to prepare. And as I exhale, I'm going to sink even more deeply into the ground in my upper body while I reach my legs high up into the air using those obliques. And then I am going to inhale, bring myself back down, grounding myself as I go, and then inhale, really using the ground, working from my center, lifting my legs from here, not from my low back, but right through here, and then bring it on down. Inhale. Exhale. Perfect. And of course, you would switch to the other side after you do, you do one side, turn over, do the other, and you work on the same process. The next thing to do after that is side kicks. So side kicks are more challenging, and there's two ways to do it. You can start from here, or you can go to the full position and bring your arms into this form. It's a little more challenging to ground yourself, and then you bring your legs a little further forward ahead of you, about a foot or two, and really try to find a nice, good, stable base of support. So now I'm going to actively, passively ground myself. And as I do that, that starts to help me form my body better. It's opening up my chest, letting my collarbones slide wide apart, engaging the muscles between the shoulder blades more, so that my neck has some support. My arms aren't doing all of the work of holding up my head and upper body. From there, I'm going to really work on the legs from center below and exhale. And that also helps my upper body. Now I'm going to focus on my center and operating those obliques. I think I'm ready to go. Inhale. I'm going to raise my leg, and exhale. Make sure I'm grounded by pressing the lower leg into the mat. Then I will inhale, reaching my foot forward, toes downward, sweeping my leg as far as I can. Bring it back about a foot, and then exhale, kick. Inhale, I go back the other direction. These are hard. They're very, very challenging. What is really challenging is that in order to get the leg to go back and not fall back as well, you really want to keep your center engaged and under control of the movement of your pelvis. So think back. Pelvic rock, upper spine curl, pelvis or spine really wanting to curl its two ends toward one another in the front of your body will help to control that. So let's go to the other version right here, and everything else applies. It's really not any less challenging as far as that's concerned. What changes is that some of the pressure is taken off the neck and shoulders and arms. So if you have neck shoulder issues, arm issues, wrist issues, this is the best position for you to start in. Inhale. Inhale. Right, so it's an inhale to reach forward and come back about a foot, and then exhale, you kick. Inhale, you go back as far as you can, draw back about a foot, and then exhale, kick. All right, and make sure that your kick is not a full, powerful kick, because you'll just end up really taking away from the focus of maintaining your center and maintaining your support. I was kicking a little too hard. I'm a little wobbly today. But if you go slower, you're kicking, but not with a lot of power. You're kicking for control, managing between movement, balancing between movement, and centered, grounded stability. So there you are. Support, stabilize, center. That's what forms the principle of grounding. And I hope these exercises help you to explore and figure that out. Thanks.